Austin's about to come up. He's got a 1982 Camaro with a 305 with a cam in it on a street tire. It's got 14 gears in it though, and the rear end's locked. But we'll see what it runs. It's right there if you can see it. There's a lot of glare. But we're gonna 5.3 swap it. But we'll get a before and see what it runs before we do the 5.3 swap. He's gonna get the sloppy stage 3 cam. Austin versus Willis. Who will win? I got my money on Willis. Kind of curious what the little 305 82 Camaro will run. I guess 1550 earlier. Willis gone. Pass 2 for Austin. Before LS swap. Then we'll get it after, hopefully. What you doing there, Austin?
Starting LS swap.
Pulling the motor out. We took the intake carbon distributor off just because it's easier.
It's got a decent sized cam in it. We don't know exactly what size, but
yeah, it's a little thumpy. It's got a cam in it. It ran with these choke master exhaust manifolds. It ran a 16.0 something and a quarter mile. It ain't too bad for a little 305 with a cam and sucky exhaust. But yeah, now all we got left to do is, or Austin, I'm just watching, take the motor mount bolts out, the bell housing bolts, the starter, torque converter bolts,
the exhaust.
And he's going to cut the exhaust back there and just, he ain't even going to fight with them. He's going to leave them on there. He's just going to cut them back there with the Sawzall and we'll pull it right out. We got TJ over here making some YouTube videos. What's the channel, TJ?
TJ Boyd.
T
as of right now.
Capital T, capital J, and then B-O-Y-D.
Went for the number 13, lucky 13.
Yeah. He's got the picture of the 13, the car number. Austin's over here taking out motor mount bolts. Son-in-law's mowing the grass. I'm just sitting here helping make YouTube videos and giving Austin pointers. Taking 305 out. And Austin, Josh, TJ on the scene.
Have to. Keep y'all feeling straight.
Leaking fluids. It's about to come out. We'll get that 5.3 over there. Ready to go in. Well, it's out. And we set her over yonder. And we just, the intake was off of it as you saw. The chain was still on it. We had a metal bar. One person picked up one side, one person picked up the other, and we walked it over there. me and TJ talked him into getting a torque converter before we stick that motor in there, because I keep telling him there ain't no point putting that big cam 5.3 down in here without a torque converter, at least a 3200. So he's going to see about getting a torque converter. I tried to tell him, then he finally heard it from TJ also, so yeah, he's going to wait until he can get a torque converter to put in there. 5.3 ready to go in. It's new home. Yes. All right. It's found its new home. Those motor mounts worked pretty good, but we had to leave the motor mounts off and then stab it into the transmission. Start a couple of bolts, and then we put the brackets on and then lowered it down onto the motor mounts. Fits like a charm. And here's the other side. It's good. We didn't even, yeah, it went right down on it. We just got 2 bolts in the transmission for now. That's all we could find that fits an LS, because they're metric. All we had was the standard ones that went back into the small block Chevy. So we need what, 3 more of those? Yeah, 3 more of those. We've got 2 in it. We're only going to use 5 of them because some of them don't line up. All right, looks like the intake's going to fit with the cow hood. It's going to be tight back there to get stuff back there, but yeah. But we're ready. Just got to button everything up, figure out a fuel system for it, and hook the wiring harness up to it, figure out where to put the stock ECM. We're going to use the stock ECM. Yeah, figure out the fan situation, do some tuning. Well, Austin took his car and brought it to his place, and he got it to start. There ain't been no tuning on it, but it started. But if you don't program the VATs out of the computer, it'll only run for like a second and then it shuts right off. So we're going to take the VATs out of it, see if we can't get her to start and run a little bit. Ain't got no water in it, so we can't run it very long. It's a reading. But I'll show you how to turn off VATs real quick. It's really simple. Alright, we got the tune downloaded. So you just go to System, General, VATs, none. That's it. Done. And we're going to go ahead and save that one as Austin stock tune with no VATs. And then we're going to go up here and flash, right vehicle, oh, we got to license it. And then we're going to write entire on this one. Brickable. Everything charged up.
Truck's charging it?
Alright. Because this is brickable if it messes up. Connection's good. Connection's good here. Alright, we'll hit the button.
How long does that take?
Probably a couple of minutes. Will the sloppy stage 3 cams start and run on a stock tune? That's the question. Kinda. Try giving some gas when you're doing that. Alright. Do some tuning. Alright, we're going to switch the tune to speed density, where it's not using the mass airflow sensor or the oxygen sensors at all. So First thing we'll do is we'll go into engine, airflow, dynamic, and we'll put this high RPM disable to something stupid. 8,000. Alright, then we're going to go into engine diagnostic, airflow, nav frequency fell. We'll set that to 0. Then we're going to go over here to DTCs. And the P102 and the P10. Yeah, we're going to turn those top 3. We're just going to turn them off. Over here. Find out where my mouse went. Turn those off. Then we'll set them to no error reported is what I put them at. Alright, then we're going to turn off the long-term fuel trim. We're going to go into engine, fuel, oxygen sensors, and then you go into this table right here. And this is temperature based. If you click right here, it'll open the whole table. And then we're going to put like 283 in here for the engine coolant temp. Something it'll never reach. Hit the equals button. And that sets that all to 283. So it'll never go into closed loop. But we're also going to disable the long-term fuel trim. And then we're also going to put this minimum ECT to 283. Just like that. Alright, then we're still in engine. We'll go to fuel, temperature control, and we're going to disable this COT as well. Alright, then we're also going to come over here and we're going to do the RPM limits here in a little bit, but I'm going to, this is the cutoff for park and neutral. We can just leave that at like 3,000 if he wants to do like a 2-step in park. No, wait, yours doesn't know what gear it's in, so yeah, we can't do that. So we're going to set this to 7,500. Yep, and then 7,500. And then we'll do it over here. This ain't part of the changing its speed density. This, since I'm in here, I'm just going to go ahead and set the RPM limiters. We're going to do some other things too, but we'll highlight those. 7,500. Oh, forgot to hit the equals button. And then we'll do this resume. We'll do 7490.
Let's do a neutral switch and then put it like on push button. Do you want a 2-step?
You could. You have to trick it into knowing what gear it's in, though.
Just in neutral, right? Full part.
And then this one is the same as this one. This is the cutoff, and this is the resume for these two up here. We'll do the same thing on those, because why not? Alright, so in this one, for the speed density tuning, alright, then for deceleration fuel cutoff, this is a temperature too. We're just going to put it to something stupid for now. I usually put this back after I get done tuning it with a wideband, but for right now we'll turn off that. And that's again under fuel cutoff. It's where your RPM limits are. But yeah, I believe that's it, and we'll save that. Then we gotta go in and do some injector data. Alright, on the fuel pressure, we just come in here to engine, fuel, general, and then It's right here, flow rate. And these are 40-pound injectors, but I think the fuel, they're rated at 43 fuel pressure. I think the fuel pressure on these stock truck regulators is a little bit higher than that, so I'm gonna set them to 42. Now there's some other data in here that we need, but I don't know what it is for his. So we're just gonna leave it stock and see if it does anything. This is a pretty radical cam, so I'm gonna set the idle kind of high, and find this engine, idle, RPM, and base set point. So we're gonna go with 1,000 in these cells. Whoops, I only did that first one, didn't it? It's hard to look through the camera and do this. Oh, it did them all. Never mind. We'll go like 950 here. And I'm gonna go 900 out here. This is the sloppy stage 3 cam, by the way, y'all. Alright, there's that. So now if we go in airflow, general, where we're on speed density open loop, this main VE, right there, primary, I put both of these the same. But now this is going to be our main fuel table. So I already know these big cams, they like a little bit less fuel. So at idle and stuff, they'll want more out here, but down here they'll want less. And this thing will probably idle as high as that. So we'll go across there. And what I do is take 10% out of this. And by doing that, I just do 0.9 up here. And then I hit the multiply button, and that takes 10% out. See, these numbers are lower. Just like that. Nope, I didn't mean to do that. We're just trying to get it to idle right now, so we're just gonna mess with these right now. Hopefully with that stock injector data, hopefully it'll try to start, but let's see. What will that do? Let's try. Hold the throttle open just a little and see what it does. So I had to go out there, smoked it up a little in there. But the reason it started idling, he had to put his foot on the throttle just a little to open the throttle blades, and it started. But after it ran a couple of seconds, it idled by itself. So that means we need to do adjust the idle air. We have to adjust the throttle blades. And then once we get the throttle blades where the IEC counts want to be, then we'll have to reset the throttle position sensor. You might even have to groove that, but it starts and idles by itself now. It ain't got no water in it, so we can't really run it too long. But yeah, it sounds good. It sounds really good. What do you think, Austin?
I think we're getting there.
Sounds
I
good.
want to see it actually like idle. So I'll just barely creep my foot on it. Once it started idling, I'll let off and it's fully idle.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to get some water in it because we have to do those. Have you ever done the IEC steps with me before? We have to do that, man. It's got to warm up before we can do that. So you got to get it warmed up and running. You got to get some water in it and stuff like that. And I want to get the injector data to put the correct injector data in there, but we got it starting to run. That was the main thing I came over here to do. We're going to go ahead and open up the throttle blades a little bit, and then we're going to try to reset the throttle position sensor back to 0, because I know with that cam, this combination, that's got to be opened up some. So we're going to try to open it some and reset the TPS to 0 and see if we can't get it to idle on its own. It'll idle on its own, but it won't start on its own without opening the throttle a little. And then it starts and you run it a little and then let off the gas, it'll idle on its own. And something that I found on these is if you crack this too far, somehow, some way, you get a hesitation off idle. So at that point, we drill that hole a little bit bigger. All right, we opened it up some. So the throttle position sensor is at 1.6%, but we want that to read 0. Throttle relearn. So key off, unplug it, key on. Don't start it, but just key on. 5 seconds. Key off, plug it back in, turn key on. It should reset it to 0. And lo and behold, it did. Now we're going to try to start it. Logging the idle control position right there.
Log? Or you did?
Right there. It's a little too high, so we're going to try to open the throttle blades a little more and do another TPS relearn. But I'm going to go in here and set some of the idle timing. Which the idle timing ain't too bad. So I just went in here. This is engine, spark, and then advance. And I went into these tables here and I just set the timing to 20 where I know it's going to idle at. And that's not the way it's going to stay. We're just trying to get it to start and idle by itself without having to touch the throttle blades. And then I did these. The same way. In park and then in park. I did in drive and in park. Again, it's not going to stay that way. We'll adjust that later. I just want to get it start and idle, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we pretty much got it to start up and idle on its own. It ain't got no water in it, so I kind of got nervous starting it that much. So we give up on her. It could be better, and we'll dial her in better, but I'm gonna go get some E85 and some oil, put in Christopher's car, and tomorrow I'll drive it around so it can self-learn a little bit and try to get that one ready for some racing. Y'all, thanks for watching. Have a great day.